Hands up if you've heard the term obstetric violence. No? Yeah, a lot of people haven't. A lot of people are not aware that violence in obstetrics is a big thing. For myself, I experienced obstetric violence on a number of occasions. But in my work, working with women who have birth trauma, it often surprises me how often those women are unaware that they have been the victims of obstetric violence. So, what does obstetric violence look like? Well, it can be all sorts of things. One of the most insidious forms of obstetric violence is actually coercion. When somebody says to you, if you don't do this, your baby will die. If we don't induce you because your baby's big, your baby will die. Or maybe they say, we're just going to do a vaginal exam now, but don't actually ask permission. Maybe they give you an episiotomy without consent. And not just consent, but informed consent. Maybe they tell you you have to lay on the bed when actually what you want to do is kneel or stand or be in the bathtub. When you are feeling out of sorts with your birth, and out of sorts is just a really mild way of saying you might actually be highly traumatized by your birth. You may have experienced horrific violence. Um, you may have been treated like absolute crap. All of those things are not okay. And there are multiple ways that you can manage that. But one of them, and the most powerful thing you can do for yourself and your family, because they will bear the repercussions of your not being okay, one of the most powerful things you can do is actually get yourself to a place where you are powerful. To do that, we need to take the emotional pain, the emotional charge out of that past event. When you can approach that, so let's say you're going down the path of legal, um, suing somebody or whatever. Um, if you do that from an emotional space, that's likely to cause big issues for you. But if you do it from a place of being empowered in that situation, where you can look at that space very succinctly, you are in a much, much better position. You hold more power. So if you would like to get to a place where you can have the power back, where you are not triggered anymore, where you are able to be at peace with your birth and the birth of your baby, then reach out, because I'd love to show you how that's possible. But obstetric violence is a very, very real thing, and it is not talked about. It's a very gendered violence, and as women, we have only just begun to talk about the violence that is um, perpetrated against us. And it also marries into this idea that as to be a good woman, we have to be a good mother, and to be a good mother, we have to put ourselves last, which means we shouldn't complain or moan about the birth of our child or do anything to correct that scenario, because after all, we have a healthy baby. And for some women who've have had birth trauma, that's not true as well. They may not have a healthy or live baby, but that is not, it's not relative. Just because somebody else has had an experience that is more severe does not mean yours is not real, and it does not mean that yours does not deserve to be acknowledged, heard, and resolved. I'd love to talk to you about that. You can find me at fantasticfuture.com.au or Fantastic Futures Australia on Facebook, and or Instagram, which is Fantastic Futures Birth underscore Beyond. TikTok, Birth Trauma Buster. There's all sorts of places you can find me. YouTube, Birth Trauma um, Buster on there as well. So yeah, I'd love to connect with you on one of those platforms. All the best and bye for now.